is challenging. Research says every time you struggle to speak in table topics or impromptu speaking, you lose one hair. No, that is just the research which I could. Why public speaking is so challenging? That is the second most fear in the world. Right? And if that is what is the fear, second most fear, how come public speaking, impromptu public speaking is not even there in the list? Public speaking is the second fear in the world, but impromptu public speaking is not even there in the list. How come? Because they were not alive to take up that survey that was still a fear for them, impromptu and then also public speaking, right? Two fears combined together. A lot of them say it's a big challenge because I don't know what to speak. So this session is going to help you to evolve you into a level where you could bring miracles into your public speaking or your impromptu speaking sessions. Right? Let it be table topics here in a Toastmasters meeting or a contest or even outside Toastmasters. Now, do you know why table topics is challenging? You don't get a table to speak. Right? Though the name is table topics, you don't get a table to speak, but that's still okay. Most of the times, you don't get what the topic is. Right? You listen to the topic and you're wondering, okay, but what do I speak? You don't get the topic, you don't get a table to speak. But in spite of that, we still need to prepare. Seriously. We have prepared speech, where we know how to prepare, but how do we prepare for impromptu speaking? Your topic will be given after you come to the stage. And then how do you prepare in advance? So I come prepared with the script. Whatever the topic is, I don't care, I don't even listen. Let the table topic master say whatever. I come prepared with the topic and I just speak. Is that the preparation? We still need to come prepared on what we could speak. Like have some database, some data of what we could speak. That is what I'm going to help you with this session. So before we get into the session on what we should do, the first thing to address is what we should not do. What do you think would be the don'ts of a table topics contest? Specifically to a contest, what are the don'ts? I'm sure you would have done it or you would have heard people doing it. Even in our regular meetings, what are the don'ts in a table topic contest?
No breaks, between sentences.
I feel table topic is one of the most easiest thing to do. True. We'll try. Just randomly somebody give me a topic. Just some topic.
What gift you give to your from Santa Claus? Gift from Santa Claus. What will you
From
ask?
Santa Claus. What gift will you ask?
What gift will you ask from Santa Claus? What gift will you ask from Santa Claus? Yes, I really like Santa Claus and gifts also I like a lot. And what gifts will I ask from Santa Claus? It is a really good topic. I am very happy to the table topic master for giving me such a wonderful topic, and I'm sure he also likes Santa Claus. And before that, a good morning, so it's I think 12 o'clock. So good afternoon to all the Toastmasters over here, guests, area director, district directors who are not there, members from district 98, and also from all my Toastmaster friends whom I missed from district 82, region 13, and all the Toastmasters across the globe. 1 minute or something. So I've qualified now for the speech. So you see how easy table topic is. You just need to speak. You don't worry about the topic. Yeah. So you can speak, but then it doesn't qualify as a winning speech or a speech which will have an impact, especially in a contest. So let me go specific about a few don'ts. Right? I'm sure you'll be able to relate when I share each of this. You would have seen people, the moment the topic is given, what they do is something like this. In 2 minutes, they would have spent 1 minute 30 seconds in repeating the topic. Yes, Santa Claus giving me a gift. Santa Claus will give me a gift. This is like when you get a question, like during your college days, right? You get a question and which we haven't prepared, but you still need to answer. You realize that if you just add one more page to your answer sheet, you'll get some marks. What do? I just keep repeating the question again and again. I just don't know anything about it. How does that feel? I would need somebody. Yeah. So how does that feel? You just stick to the topic all the time. Right? Yes, you need to stick to what the topic is, but then not like this where the entire 2 minutes you're just talking about the topic, not about anything about the topic, but you're just repeating the topic. Now, if this is one extreme, the other extreme is when the table topic master or the contest chair is telling the topic, you're thinking on what to speak, and finally realize that you didn't listen to the topic. Then, could you repeat the topic? The contest chair will tell the topic twice, and that's it. If you heard it, you heard it. If not, gone. Then you just create your own topic and speak. They will not repeat the topic after 2 times. Right? So better listen when they're saying the topic. So these are 2 extremes. Next is another interesting thing where they give an acceptance speech, just like how we did now, right? All the Toastmasters here, everyone, haven't received the Oscar award here, and you're not giving an acceptance speech here. You just have 2 minutes to speak. Just get on to the topic and go ahead and speak. Almost 30 seconds is spent in addressing everyone. The protocol says you need to address the contest chair. Unless you address the contest chair cannot sit. For example, if it is the contest chair, only if I address contest chair, he can go back and sit in his place. Otherwise, he'll have to still keep standing. That's the protocol. So just address the contest chair, just go on with your speech. Don't just go and talk to almost every single person. If you love doing that, do it before or after the contest, not during the 2 minutes. And then some people get into this WhatsApp mode. What is that? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, take care, sweet dreams. 2 minutes. It's okay if you want to greet someone good morning, go do that before the contest, not during the 2 minutes. Just get on to the speech. And the most and the best interesting thing, I agree to this topic. I don't agree to the topic. Who cares? Just go ahead and talk. If you think you don't agree to the topic, say that in terms of a story. Explain why that you don't have a different view to it, or how you have a different view to that. You sit there and agree to the topic, disagree to the topic, you are actually losing time. Also, what is happening is any seasoned Toastmaster will get the clue. Do you know what you're doing by doing all this? You're just buying time. You still don't know what to speak. So you're just buying time. So when you say this, you're just still thinking, what more to actually think of? Will I get something to speak? Right? So it's important that you quickly get into the topic. All you have is just 2 minutes. 2 minutes is so small, like when you think of like what you want to speak about. So these are the don'ts. Now let's get into the do's. What do we refer as for any quality products? In terms of a quality product, what is that one mark or a symbol which we look for?
Reliable.
A symbol or a mark, ISI or ISO, quality check. So I'm going to share 2 ISOs, ISO 1 and ISO 2. It is just an acronym, ISO. So don't worry about the. So through the ISO, we're going to learn on what are the few tools which we can have in our speech, which will create an impactful speech. So let's move on to the first ISO 1 certified. Let's see what it is. What do you think is the I? What is the purpose of your 2-minute speech?
Impact.
You need to create an impact to the audience. Now let's go back to our prepared speeches. You had 2 speeches, right? Rohit and Mohit. Just tell me in one word or one line, what was the message of Rohit's speech? Rohit's speech, first speaker, what is the message?
It's okay to be late.
It's okay to be late. You can still be late and still perform. Okay, what is the message in Mohit's speech? One line, one word. So that was a 7-minute speech. Do you remember every word, every line of the speech? It happens to a 2-minute speech also. Nobody is going to remember every word of your speech. But what is that takeaway which you gave them? What is the message which you gave them? That they will remember forever if it created an impact. So whatever the topic is, whether you agree to it, disagree to it, doesn't matter. You just go ahead and talk about it and leave them with a message. Don't preach them. You just share your thoughts, that's the message. So that's how you need to leave them, that's the closing part of it. Especially the last 30 seconds, you got to leave them with a message which they will remember forever. At least that day, if not forever, at least that day there is a takeaway for them. And what do you think is the S? How do we speak? What do we speak? Some random facts, figures, data.
Structure.
So what should be there in the structure? Bring a story. Is there anybody in the room who doesn't like to listen to a story? Make it like a story. Build like a story in your speech. Everybody is listening to it because nobody knows what happened next. So they're keen to listen. Okay, let's listen to what happened next. This getting your audience connect, and also when there is a moral in the story, you are creating that impact too. And what do you think is the O? Stick to the objective. What do you mean by objective here? Our prepared speeches has objectives. So what objectives do we have in a table topics? Objective is related to the topic. You get a topic, you can have different views about it. For example, in a table topic session, we had the topic was like this: you cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. And what is the message of this topic? You cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. What is the message of it? Unless you take an effort, you don't see a result. That's the hidden message in that. Now imagine I go start talking about, yes, I like omelettes a lot, and I know last time when I was trying to make an omelette, I didn't make it perfectly, I just broke it. Your focus is so much on the omelette, breaking the egg, or let's say I don't know what to speak because I'm a vegetarian, I don't know, I've never made an omelette in my life, right? Understand what the hidden message is in the topic. And again, when I asked you, what is the hidden message in that, objective in that, maybe a couple of them said, okay, if you take an effort, then you will find a result. But not necessarily that is the only message. You add your flavor to it. It's your egg, it's your omelette. You add your flavor. There is no strict message on this is the only message. Opportunities not only once. You talk about, okay, if there is an opportunity, if there is an effort, it happens only once, you don't miss it out, you shouldn't miss it out. If that is the message you want to talk about, or there could be someone else who could say like, it might just knock once, but then we need to create those opportunities. Yesterday in our club, we had a table topics marathon. So out of that, we had a mock contest. The topic was this: opportunities will never knock the door unless you build the door. So this is a tweaked version of that proverb. Right? Opportunities will never knock the door unless you build the door. Now what do you talk about it? If I don't get to the point objective there, I'll have I was sitting in my room, somebody knocked the door, right? I realized that I shouldn't have locked the door. No, that is what is not needed there, right? Get to the objective of what the topic means, and there could be multiple meanings. It's about how you interpret it, and there is no right and wrong here. How you convey that is the message for the audience. There is no strict one message in there. It could be like your flavor, your version to it. Now ISO 1 is great. I said this is something which you can have in your speech. But the critical part here is, okay, let's have a story. But what story do I speak? Once upon a time there was a rabbit and a tortoise. What story do I speak? So here is a tip or a trick for that ISO 2. The first step is to, what do you think is the I? Immediately think of a personal story which you can relate to. Because do you think your personal story others know? Most of the stories which I'm going to share, they don't know. So what happens there? There is a lot of curiosity. Yesterday, when I was on my way to office, you know what happened after that? So you're keenly listening to what happened next, happened next. So this is the preparation part I was referring to. Before coming for the contest, build a database of personal stories. And where are these stories? Something that should be something huge happening in my life. I should win an Oscar, I should be the district winner, right? I should be an area director. It can be just a conversation with a auto wala, right? A fellow Toastmaster. Anything which happening around you is a story for you. Build a database. Be ready with those stories. And anything which you could think of at that moment fits that topic, that's your first step. But not necessarily all the time. There could be a topic where my personal story is connecting to it. Then what do? Can I create an imaginary story? It is not a tall tales. So what happens is the next step is to think of the S. Who are the S? The significant others. What do you mean by significant others? Friends, family, fellow Toastmasters, right? Some interesting incident which happened with them. Maybe you are not involved in it, but then you heard it from them. Somebody went through this. That is the second step you could think of. If you couldn't think of the I, me, myself, think of the significant others, your friend, your colleagues, anything which happened in their life. If you could draw inspiration from that and then narrate it as a story. All this is to build the story, all this is to create the preparation. So which means again, a conversation, somebody sharing somebody's story, add it in your database. You never know. That would be like a story which you could use in your table topic speech. It could give a message to the audience. Remember, you need to create an impact in your speech, not just speak something. And even that is not possible. Significant others also did not happen. Then where do we go for? The others. Who are these others? Some random celebrities whom we can relate to. You could talk about Steve Jobs or Dhoni, Drew Americom. There is something which happened in their life which you can still talk about. Draw that as an example to talk about this topic. The topic says something, let's say opportunities, or let's say the breaking the egg as an omelette. There is something which you can relate from their life, bring it up. So that is the third trick to put in. But then if you look at it, in the I, me, myself, you're talking about you, you're using you as a message for the audience. Great, there is nothing further you need to add. But in the S and in the O, you are using an external person. So which means, that's a good way to start. You don't think of anything. So that's the reason you just started out with the S and O. But at least by the first minute, when the green card is up, you need to get into a mode where you need to talk about that how it had an impact in you. Because unless you are there in the speech, no speech. I can any day talk about Steve Jobs and Sachin Tendulkar, but can you also not talk about it? What change did it bring to you? So because of that, what is your message for the audience? That is the impact. So even if you use a S or a O, make sure that in the second half, you bring you into the story. Talk about what you did it because of this. How much did that S and the O had an impact in you, and what is the message for the audience? So make sure that you are definitely there in the speech. So this is the ISO 2 which would help you to make a quality speech. There are a few more tips which I'm going to share, which is like for how many of you have the habit of drinking green tea for good health, right? Anybody drinking green tea for losing weight? So the only way you can lose weight by drinking green tea is climbing all the way to the top of the hill and plucking the leaf by yourself. That will be like workout. Okay, so forget the green tea. I'm going to give you some teas which will help you to have a healthy speech. Now we spoke about the story, the ISO 1 and 2. These are a few things which will help you to add elements to this. So the first T, your audience are Toastmasters. 90% crowd is Toastmasters. If you're wondering about what do I talk about, This is the best thing. Your first speech, your first table topics. I still remember my first table topic session. There was just one long pause in that entire speech, and that pause was for 2 minutes. And that was the only speech where the R counter said there was no R's in your speech. Talk about something which happened in Toastmasters. Maybe if not a story, at least even use relevant. Some examples which happens in Toastmasters, it will have an immediate audience connect because 90% of your audience are Toastmasters. So somewhere try to bring in some Toastmaster examples, relevance that will definitely have a great audience connect. What do you mean by this? Trending. Something trending. Relate your struggle to like coronavirus. Relate your struggle to come on time or reach on time or being late to like how by the time I come on time, right? So, or I am late, like how relate that to something trending. That is again something which will have immediate audience connect and then punchlines. You could, if you look at it, all these are interlinked also. You could use something trending to use it as a punchline. You can use something in Toastmasters as a punchline. Remember, you will not remember that entire speech, but that punchline could be the message. It could be even a tweaked version of the same table topics. The topic whichever you got, you could slightly tweak it, twist it, and use that itself as the punchline. Opportunity will never knock until you build the door. You tweak it or twist it in a way that you end up saying that, why worry about door? Right? Let's not even have walls. Use it, tweak it, and make it like a punchline. Why worry about doors? Let's even build a culture where there is not even doors. Let's have an inclusive culture. You're creating a whole new message there where it's more about opportunities. So punchlines again will have a great impact with the audience, and the impact part which I kept saying about how do we create an impact is by giving a takeaway. For every single audience, end of the day, after listening to your speech, what they are thinking is, no, what is in it for me? There is a topic given to you. You spoke about it, great. I heard your speech, but what is in it for me? If there isn't anything there for me, then there is no takeaway for me. Right? If audience have a takeaway, I'm not guaranteeing that, but then in the contest, if audience have a takeaway which has an impact, you will also have a takeaway end of the contest. A trophy for you. Right? You will have a takeaway trophy for you if you create a takeaway impact for their audience. And this is where we also be critical, don't end up preaching. A lot of them get into preach mode the moment that there is a message. You just share your thoughts, that's the takeaway for them. It's their version of it. What they interpret out of that, it is their version of it. Believe me, they may not remember the whole speech, they may even forget your name, but then if you have created an impact, even after months, years, they will come back and say, I remember you, like that day you spoke that speech, right? That line, that joke, that punchline was really good. That is the impact which you create in the audience. That is the takeaway to your audience. So with that, we are coming to the end of the session. Quickly we'll spend 5 minutes on a Q&A. If anybody has any questions, we will take 5 minutes for that. And then it's always good to hear, but only when we put it into practice we know, like, okay, it was good on the PPT, but not on the speech. So we'll also have two of them who will attempt the table topics, and the rest of you are going to assess it. So that's the next part. So any questions?
So if the table topics has been repeated twice, and if still you don't understand it, so there is some different word which has been used. So can we ask the person?
In a contest, this is what I said earlier also, either you are unfortunate or you didn't properly listen, or maybe sometimes it even happens where the table topic master will have to repeat the topic for every contestant again and again and again, right? Imagine in quiz. Imagine there are 10 contestants. By the time it's the 10th contestant, the contestant chair is tired. The intonation or the way they say the topic is also changed.
Yeah, it
So-
happens when they don't pronounce certain
Pronounce the
words.
word, maybe the intonation also. Like if you have seen, the entire PPT has a lot of cartoons, right? So yesterday when I was like looking for a few cartoon images, for the last slide I wanted something like a all the best cartoon. So this is what I searched. All the best cartoons. And guess what was the result?
Movies.
The result was all the best cartoons were displayed. This is exactly what happens if the table topics chair or the contest chair doesn't intonate it. All the best cartoons versus all the best cartoon. So it's important that how they say it, they are trained and given that inputs. However, you need to make sure that you listen carefully. They will not repeat more than twice.
We just said that we need to understand the topic and we speak for 2 minutes on that. It may happen that the participant has not understood the topic and he just goes his own way. How much weightage or how much does he have to lose in that case? He might have performed well for 2 minutes.
Okay.
That doesn't relate.
Okay. So it's like somebody spoke really well, but then it's nowhere connected to the topic. So it can be like, yeah, wonderful speech, like you won our hearts, but then good luck next time. So that could be like the message. But then if you look at the ballot sheet, there is something called speech construction, right? So the first speech development, yeah. So what does that mean?
Appropriateness.
How did you develop the speech in terms of the topic? So to answer that, so it can be a really wonderful speech, but imagine if it's not to the topic. So then why do we need a topic? I can come prepared with a 2-minute speech, right? So I don't even listen to what the topic is. I can just start impromptu with my speech which I came prepared. So what happens is you are also leaving a message that you came prepared with the script. You have still done an impromptu performance, but then if it's nowhere close to the topic, to the judges and the audience you are giving a clue that good speech but well prepared, nowhere close to the topic. It was a prepared script, not a table topic speech. Yeah, I think we don't have a lot of time, so maybe 2 more questions and then we'll take it offline after the meeting.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to understand, it's in the speech development or the effectiveness or any other points for the judging criteria, how important it is to add humor. For example, the first thought that comes to your mind, even if the speech, the title is or the title of the table topics is humorous, but you think about a tragedy that happened and you wanted to speak about it, and you spoke about it and everybody was like looking at you, they appreciate it, but there is no humor. So is it important to add humor?
So how important it is to have humor in your speech? Where do you think you need humor in your speech? Which kind of speeches? Humorous speech, do you need humor?
Of course.
Tall tales, do you need humor?
Yes.
International speech contest, do you need humor?
Okay.
Okay. Table topics, do you need humor? ISC and table topic, it's not mandatory, but it again has a great impact. Like the connect is easy, the message easily reaches the audience. So that is a great tool to use. But then make sure that it comes naturally to you. Don't just for the sake of using a humor, like some meme which you saw online, like you read it, come prepared, and then some topic you randomly use the topic. I mean, use the meme or the joke, which is nowhere connected to the topic, right? So one guy heard a speech, like it was one guy delivered a speech where he said, the best part of my life is when I spent with another man's wife. Everybody was like, whom did you invite for the speech? And then after a pause, he said, that's my mother. So everybody was like, wow, great, wonderful. Now one guy who heard that and he thought like, wow, this is a really good line, let me also try it. So he went back home, called his wife and he said, the best part of my life is when I spent with another man's wife. After the pause, he's supposed to say the next line, but after the pause, he realized that he is in ICU. So humor is great, but then you need to know when to use it, where to use it, how to use it. If it doesn't come naturally to use it, play safe, not to use it. Last question. Any other questions here? We can still do it offline.
Before we start, we feel nervous nervousness. How to work on the nervousness?
Nervousness, okay. So I started off with this question, right? How many of you have fear in terms of impromptu speaking. Now, public speaking itself is a challenge for a lot of us, like facing the crowd. How to overcome that is practice. Like every time, every opportunity you get a stage time, more the stage time, more comfortable you are. You got to enjoy the time here. However nervous you are, you need to still make sure that you need to at least pretend and have a fake smile. You should never give a clue to the audience that you are struggling here. You struggle, that's okay. And then you might be even sweating. Have you heard this term? Even if you stumble, make it part of the dance. Same applies to your speech. Even if you forget your speech, remember, nobody knows your script other than you. So the moment you forget, you do this, everybody knows you forgot. Use that also as a part of the script. Opportunity never knocks your door until you build the door. And suddenly you're blank that I don't know what to speak. I still remember my first table topic speech. I always used to run away from that opportunity. I never knew what to speak. And then you're talking that and suddenly imagine you forgot something. And this is exactly what I used to do in that speech also. Halfway through I forgot. But I didn't stop there. I still tried. Every time it was okay for me to forget speeches, but what I needed was to come stand here. Today here I am standing in front of you. I might even forget in today's speech, but I'm happy that I'm standing here. Use that also as a part of the script even if you have forgotten something. So it's quite natural to be nervous, just that don't show it to your audience. Thankfully for us, Toastmasters would be like a very friendly audience. Even if you're nervous, they'll still encourage you to speak. So that's a good thing, but then never show your nervousness to the audience. Even if you stumble, make it part of the script. Alright, so we are going to be overshooting the time. So if you have still questions, we will take it offline after the meeting. Now time to get into action. So I would need 2 volunteers. We'll do it like exactly like the we'll give a chance to someone who never got a chance to speak today.
Yeah.
Anybody who did not get a chance to speak, let's have that. We're going to do it like a contest. One more, yeah. Somebody who did not get a chance to speak. But do we have time for 3? Do we have time for 3?
No.
2. So we don't have time for. Okay. So we're going to do it like a typical contest. So it's going to be like a contest. So which means it's going to be the same topic for both of them. Right? So just 2 of you. So you can decide heads or tails or who wants to go first. Right? And one of you will go outside the room, will lock the door. Nobody gets to hear what this is exactly how the contest happens. Right? And the first contestant will be given the topic. He speaks for 1 to 2 minutes, and then this is where you're also going to play a role. You see the ballot sheets? You're going to, here it's not the heads down, hands up. You're going to rate the speaker using the ballot sheet. So we have one of the ballot sheets for the help of the contestants. Also look at the different criteria in which you'll be evaluated. Speech development. So this is the core part of it. Your script, the content. Content is the king. It has 30 points out of 100. Right? So it means how you actually develop your speech. Bring in any speech requires, prepared speech or impromptu speech. It requires an opening, body and conclusion. These are like by default required for anything. So you need to have that. So how you develop that, how you build in that story and give a message. That's weightage is 30%. And then the effectiveness, like the kind of enthusiasm you bring. Imagine you're talking about smile. The topic is smile can take you. Let's say smile can take you a mile. Right? And then the entire speech you're talking about smile without smiling. The energy you bring in will have an energy in the audience also, and then how you use your stage, just like any other speech, right? So this applies your body language, your gestures, and then the vocal variety, right? How you add variations, conversations, add variety to your speech. And then the appropriateness and correctness is to do with the grammar part of it. If you look at it, it's just 5 points. Right? Don't worry much about the grammar part of it, it's just 5 points. It's more to do about how you quickly relate to the topic and then how you build a story and leave a message for the audience. takeaway for the audience. So this is what you will keep in mind when you are rating the. So you have decided to do first.
Name. Shashwat. Purushottam.
This is also something which happens.
Alphabetic.
So you can write on the contestant names. All of you are the judges today. Who is going first?
Purushottam.
You can tell your spelling. You can tell your spelling.
My name is Purushottam.
So please do write his name, and you can see the balance sheet, right? So please write the name.
Got the spelling?
So he's contestant number 1.
I am Shashwatam. SHA.
Okay, so he's going to be contestant number 1. He's going to be contestant number 2.
Go.
He will call you. That's a timer. 1 to 2 minutes. You are aware about the timeline.
1 minute.
Just to save time, I'm just going to say contestant number 1. Right? You have written the name. So contestant number 1. Failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. Failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. Contestant number 1.
Failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. It's like that whenever we prepare for something and if we fail to do that. I'll start with my own example. I was kind of an entrepreneur person. So I like to look about like different businesses. So I wanted to build my own business. So I was preparing to do that. So I read a lot of books. I follow a lot of entrepreneurs. I even try to learn accounting. And I believe like if I do that, at least I can prepare well. And I can, even if I fail, that is perfectly fine. Because I have given a shot. But if I sit idly at my home and just dreaming, okay, I'll try to do this, I'll try to learn this, I'll try to open this business, I'll try to do something that I have some idea. But if I didn't do anything about it, then certainly I'll fail to do that. So what will I say that try and fail, but never fail to try. Thank you.
So you can take 30 seconds to write down the scores which you want to give for contestant number 1. He went home. He's there. I thought he went home. Alright, so let's go ahead with the second contestant. Second contestant, by failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. By failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. Contestant number 2.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So my topic is by failing to prepare, be prepared to fail. My view of the topic is whenever you are planning to achieve some target, you need to have some initial goals in your mind so that you stick to your target and actually achieve it. What I can say from my experience is that say till third year of my college, I was totally enjoying college life, like nowhere in academics, like not studying so much. But in the final year, when there is time for placements, you need to be serious and start preparing for the placements. So you need to have a goal in your mind that this is the particular field that I'll be targeting. This is the particular company maybe I'll be trying to get into. So I checked the previous year results, placement results, and from there I decided maybe automobile will be good for me. So based on that, I started preparing for mechanical engineering subjects. So I set at that point only I set few targets. Okay, at least I'll have to do this and this. Then only actually I'll be able to achieve that target. So in that manner, I kept on doing it every day, and when you do your work every day only, then only you can expect some results. It can't be like you just stay at the end, you think that I'll do it just one day before the test and maybe you will get the good result. That is not possible. So keep that thing in mind, that whenever you have some target, you need to start preparing from for a long time before from that time. Thank you.
Alright, so that brings us to the end of the mock contest. So 30 seconds for you to write down your scores for the second contestant. And once you're done with that, we are also going to do an interesting quick exercise. So later when when we are voting for the best table topic speaker, I think instead of collecting the ballot, we will just ask them to raise their hands and then votes. Alright, so we gave a lot of interesting numbers there in the papers, so forget the numbers now. Now we spoke about a lot of things here, right? ISO 1 and 2 and 5Ts. What were the things which you observed in these two speeches? That's an exercise, because that also tells you that how keen you were observing. Did you find out, did you observe the 5Ts or the ISO 1, 2? What was it? ISO 2 where I, me, myself. Both the stories were about I, me, myself, right? So that was a good evolution, right? So we did find out that okay, they decided to go with their personal story. So that was a good job done by both of them to talk about I, me, myself. What else did you find? So which means of course then the S and O are not there, and then what else? What is the message? What do you remember? What is the impact of the speech?
Structure was pretty much there.
What is the impact of the speech? What do you remember right now? Was there a takeaway?
In the first speech, he gave a shot.
It makes us confident to
Correct. So it's okay to fail, but give it a try, give it a shot, right? So that was a message, that was an impact, right? And out of the 5Ts, probably too quick to implement the 5Ts, right? So anything related to Toastmasters, we can even talk about how unprepared you were for your icebreaker speech, right? But then still you got a standing ovation and you thought, wow, you did a wonderful job. Later to realize that every icebreaker speech receives standing ovation. But that made me think that every speech I should receive this applause, and then I started preparing. So it can be like anything. It can be like anything. Bringing that relevant examples which all of us could relate to. So these are things which will definitely add value to your speech. Make sure that when you end the speech, the last 30 seconds, there are two kinds of problems in terms of speaking. Some don't know how to start. Some don't know how to stop. Even after the red card is up, they'll keep on and on and on, right? So respect the red card. Even if it's like an abrupt ending, it's okay. The worst thing to happen in a contest is somebody getting time disqualified. So the moment you see the red card, just have one line and close it in the next 10 seconds. Don't have it beyond that. Try to close it in just 10 to 15 seconds when you see the red card. So which means by the time you see the yellow card, you should prepare for the closing. That 30 seconds should be your closing message, the punchline, the message, if you're still talking about your story after the yellow card is up, which means you'll never end it by 30 seconds, or it will be the abrupt ending. This is also a preparation which you need to have. How you plan that 2 minutes, right? So something to build on, like a story for a minute, and then if it's an external story, you connect to yourself in the next 30 seconds, have a message, start concluding, summarizing it. Now there are a few weak links also which I'd like to share, with that we'll close. The thing is, every time when you want to start a story, what is the perfect way to start? The weak link is, let me start with the story. Already gone. It's like you have diluted it. Once upon a time. I remember 2nd March 2019. This is the perfect way to start a story. Let me conclude this speech with a quote. You're diluting it. End it with a bang with the quote. Why does the quote needs an introduction? End it with the bang with the quote. Don't give introductions to your story, to your quote. These are a few weak links we need to think of so that you create that impact in the speech. A 30-45 minutes session would not evolve you into a magical table topic speaker. These are just inputs. Keep practicing, keep trying. Every single opportunity you get to be on the stage, it is impromptu speaking. Sometimes it helps you even outside Toastmasters, especially when you're late to work, right? Impromptu reasons. When you're late after Toastmasters meeting to home, right? If you're married, if your wife asks, why are you late? Impromptu reasons. So Toastmasters table topics will help you even outside Toastmasters. So with that, wishing you all the very best. I would request anybody, there is no eligibility criteria for a table topic contest. You just need to be a member of the club. I would request every single member to go participate, not for winning, at least for the feel of contesting. That itself is a separate learning experience, contesting. So go contest. If you have a takeaway for the audience, you will also have a takeaway for you. Right? Hope in this session you had some takeaways. Right? I'm not sure how much you will remember every single word of it, but then let's do a quick summary. What is ISO 1?
Impact,
Story,
objectives,
and stick to the objective. What is ISO 2?
I
That
me,
is to do with how to build the story. I, me, myself, if not the significant others, if not others. Even if it's S and O, you need to make sure that you are there in the story and bring you into the story. And then what are the 5 T's? Toastmasters examples. Pick up something trending and will again add an evidence. Twist, tweak, and then some punchlines. Right? Thundering punchlines, this will also have an impact. And then a lot of times we might struggle in a prepared speech on what could be an ideal title for my speech. Now this is my closing message. For a table topics, the title is already there. Remember, a lot of times we struggle what could be a perfect title for my speech. What is happening in table topic is the title is already there. We just need a story, a speech for that. So come prepared with this database of stories. Whatever the title is, just go talk about it. Most importantly, whether you win or lose, enjoy the 2 minutes. If you don't enjoy the 2 minutes here, the audience are not going to enjoy the 2 minutes there. So make sure that you enjoy the 2 minutes, and definitely you will enjoy your speeches too. With that, I'll conclude. I know like I've told you a lot. I'm time disqualified. Over to the Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joe.